Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing your club's best player. So we're going to be going through every Premier League club and we're going to be naming the best players of every Premier League club. In my opinion, it's going to be mixed up. It's going to be depending on, like, not this season kind of obviously, but right now currently mostly. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we start this video, please subscribe if you're new and leave a like because you won't regret it. Trust me. The first club is going to be Southampton. In my opinion, I think it's obvious their best player. I think their best player is obviously Ward-Prowse. Baller, always getting a goal and assist for Southampton, always carrying Southampton most of the time. Next one, nothing more to say about that. For Wolves, I'm going to say Ruben Neves. He is a baller for Wolves, honestly. You could also say João Moutinho or like Daniel Podence. They're all ballers, but in my opinion, I think the best player at Wolves in general has got to be Ruben Neves, in my opinion. Next up, Everton. And I think this one's kind of obvious, but debatable in some places. I'm going to say Demarai Gray. He's been on form recently, kind of. He scored a goal for Everton. I think he scored 2 goals and he's got a few assists in the past few games. And he has been good for Everton. I'm pretty sure he won Everton one of the other matches because he scored like last minute or something. But yeah, he's a baller for Everton. He's one of their best players in my opinion. And I think there's nothing more to say about that. I think he helps Everton a lot, and he is a baller for them. Next up, West Ham. West Ham may not be in the good form recently. Somehow they dropped. Like last season, they were challenging for like European football. Now they're trying not to get relegated. It's crazy. In my opinion, West Ham's best player is Paqueta. I think it's obvious. He's always getting goals and assists. He's always helping West Ham. He's always creating chances. He's one of the only players to be doing good right now in West Ham. Obviously, there's Declan Rice there. You could say that as well. But in my opinion, I think right now, Paqueta's one of the best players at West Ham. Bournemouth, I really couldn't think of a player for Bournemouth because they are stinky, honestly. They're not doing that good. I mean, they're not doing terrible, but Bournemouth are just one of those clubs that always come up to the Premier League and then go down to the Championship next season, and then they'll be back up the next season after that. But for Bournemouth, their best player has been injured. One of the best players, according to FotMob, Tavernier, and he got injured recently, so yeah. But he has been their best player when he was not injured. He was the one actually helping them. But other than that, that one was according to FotMob. Nothing more to say about that. And next one. Next up, Nottingham Forest. Their best player has been Awoni, or however you say it. I don't know how do you say it. Awoni or Awoniyi. I don't know how you say it. Awoni. People are probably getting triggered because I can't pronounce his name. But you know who I mean. He has been a baller for Nottingham Forest. Another shout could be Johnson. Both of them have been helping Nottingham Forest, scoring goals, getting assists, creating chances. Both of them have been real ballers for Nottingham Forest, and they've been helping them win a lot of matches recently. Next up, for Leeds, it's always been like, Rodrigo's always been there. He's always scoring goals. Obviously, he's a striker, so that's his job. But like, Rodrigo's a class player. And I'd say if it wasn't Rodrigo at Leeds, then Somerville would be one of the best players. Somerville and Rodrigo are the best players at Leeds currently. Next up, Leicester. In my opinion, I had to look quite far for this one. Not really. Some people would say it's obvious. Some people would mostly go for Maddison, to be fair. But I think it's between Maddison or Tielemans, because Tielemans is always doing well, even if it's just defensively. Tielemans is just a baller. That's why so many clubs want him. He would be a good fit for most Premier League clubs, because he's just a baller, and he helps Leicester a lot. So in my opinion, that one's for Tielemans or Maddison. Either one is fine. Next up, Crystal Palace. There's quite a few for this one. In my opinion, I couldn't choose between them, because all of them are always doing good. Zaha, Eze, Olise and Ayew. Either one of them, they're always doing sick week in, week out. They're always, at least one of them has either scored a goal or an assist or got both. So those guys for me are the ballers for Crystal Palace. Obviously that's basically their whole attack, but they're always doing well. Sometimes all of them get assists, or sometimes all of them get goals. It works like that sometimes, or sometimes they get either or the other in a match, and all of them are always helping Crystal Palace get their wins. Obviously Zaha is an obvious one for most people. But yeah, Zaha is just a baller. That's just common knowledge. And one of the best players for Crystal Palace. So Aston Villa, in my opinion, I would say it's either between Douglas Luiz or Danny Ings. In general, Danny Ings has always been a good player. And he bags for Aston Villa whenever he plays, I'm pretty sure. I think every time he's played recently, or like the past few matches, he's bagged a goal for most of them. But I think it's between Danny Ings or Douglas Luiz for Aston Villa. Next up, Chelsea. And I know this is going to sound like I'm mocking it, but I think Chelsea was a hard one. I couldn't even find one. I had to check on FotMob as well. Or FotMob, however you say it. I had to check on there just to find a good player. Obviously, I was thinking about Thiago Silva, but The only reason I picked him is because he's FotMob's second highest rating in like Chelsea players in general. First was Kepa, so that shows you something. And Chelsea have been stinky recently. I'm not going to lie to you. But Thiago Silva obviously has been decent for them. He's always there for them. Thiago Silva's always solid at the back, helping Chelsea. Even though they've been stinky recently, Thiago Silva is still a baller. Brentford, I think it's obvious. We're all thinking Tony here. There's no other player, realistically. Maybe Wissa or other players, but Tony's always the player helping them. Obviously, with his current situation right now. Not much to speak about that. It's Tony, that's it. Next up, Brighton. An obvious one here is going to be Mac Allister. Obviously, he just won the World Cup, and he's been decent for Brighton the whole time. And a lot of big clubs want him as well. But other people would argue and say Gross is a good one. March, Adam Lallana, maybe even Mitoma even, people would say. There's a lot of different ones at Brighton. That's another one where I couldn't decide fully, but I just said Mac Allister because World Cup winner. If you manage to win the World Cup, you're just a baller, so like, nothing much to say. Next up, Fulham. I think Fulham's quite obvious. Mitrovic, nothing else to say there. Easy one there, Mitrovic. Bags for Fulham all the time, helps them a lot. Easy. Next up, Liverpool. My club, obviously. And I watch them every week. I watch all their matches, so I'd know this one. I know people are going to find this kind of like debatable, but I'd say Alisson, because Alisson has helped us so much. How much Alisson has helped us over the past few matches is crazy. If we didn't have him, then I think we'd be in relegation zone. I know that's a bold statement, but for me, I think that's the truth, honestly. Because if we didn't have Alisson, we wouldn't have a keeper to save us as much as Alisson did. Then we'd be having a stinker. We're already having kind of a stinker, but we'd be having more of a stinker. And obviously, the obvious ones like Salah. Ox has been doing quite well this season. He's came back from injury, and he's been doing decent since then. Next up, Spurs, obviously an obvious one, Harry Kane. He's been put under the radar this season because of Haaland, literally. Just because Haaland's outscored him and Haaland's been scoring so much, Harry Kane's been put under the radar. Even he's the second top scorer in the Premier League so far right now, as I'm recording this. He's been put under the radar just because of Haaland. Not obvious one, but for Spurs, Bentancur, he's been a baller for Spurs. In my opinion, he's been sick. He's been holding the midfield well, creating chances, doing well for Spurs. Another Uruguayan right there, that is a baller. Next up, Manchester United. In my opinion, Rashford, been on form recently, been proving so many people wrong. So many people said he was dead, he was terrible, they should sell him. But he's silenced so many people. My respect goes out to Marcus Rashford because he is a baller. I've always said this. And it's his comeback story this season. With being on form, scoring for Man United the past few games, getting them assists, helping them win. Marcus Rashford is Man United's best player currently. Other people would say Casemiro. That's another one there. Casemiro has helped Man United a lot. He has surprised me, to be fair, because I didn't think he was going to do that well when he came. But he is a baller, Casemiro. And he has helped United quite a bit in the past few matches. Stop Newcastle. I think for me, this one was a tough one as well. Even though Newcastle are up there, up in the top four, I think it's a tough one to decide. Because the whole team's been doing well. So to pick one player to stand out from all of them is crazy. But I think one player that did stand out from all of them is Bruno Gomes. He's a baller. Brazilian. He didn't get enough minutes in the World Cup, honestly. He should have got more minutes in the World Cup. Baller for Newcastle. Helps them so much. Holds the midfield strong. Creates so many chances. Gets goals as well here and there. And he helps Newcastle stay in the top four. And last but not least, what most of you guys were waiting for, Arsenal. This may be another debatable one because the whole team's been doing well. Arsenal top of the league right now. In my opinion, I think Odegaard's the best player at Arsenal right now. Baller. Getting goals, getting assists, creating chances, holding the midfield like a captain. And I think Odegaard is doing sick at Arsenal right now. Obviously, there's a lot of players doing sick together, helping the team, helping each other as a team. I think other people would say Saka as well. Saka has been really good this season. But in my opinion, Martin Odegaard is the best player at Arsenal right now, and he's helping the team get where they are and stay at the top of the table. Okay guys, so that was my opinion on the best players from each Premier League club. I said a few, I may have said one for some of them, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want more videos like this, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.